What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we got the XK A800 here once again, and we're going to do a little bit of FPV gliding. I got an all-in-one VTX mounted to the top. It is the XK A3 all-in-one VTX. Powering it up is a single cell battery. I just have a double-sided sticky tape on top of the aircraft, so hopefully that works out. Now, it is a beautiful day out here at the moment. The wind is supposed to pick up, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, it is flying. No problem. Oh, and it is really smooth still. Very smooth. I got it in the default settings, so it is on low speed, and we are not in acro mode. We are in the 6G mode, which is the stability mode, and this thing is just awesome. Very nice. So smooth. There you go. Passing over my head here. So it's supposed to have a 200-meter distance, so you don't want to go really too far with this thing, especially near water and stuff like that. So I'm going to glide on the left side of the water. It kind of dried up a little bit, so there's a little bit less water now. We've been having a few nice sunny days. So here, back at the same desert flats area, and check it out. It is just absolutely smooth, and there's no wind to disturb it as well. So awesome day for a little gliding. And now, since I have a little bit of weight on the aircraft, even though right now it is doing fine, I want to see if it can do a roll or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and flick it to 3D mode, which is acro mode, and let's check it out. Oh yeah, you are able to do a little loop, but it does have a little bit of weight on there, so it takes a little bit of time to recover from that loop, but you are still able to do a little loop. That is just super awesome, even with that big 450 milliamp one cell battery. Awesome. So let's see if I can do a roll. Whoa! Yes, you can do a roll, but it is very slow in performing the roll. So let's go on back. Don't want to go too far away. And guess what, guys? I'm losing connection or battery power, and I just crashed. All right, so let's go ahead and retrieve it and see what the damage is. All right, so brought the aircraft back, and there's no actual physical damage to the aircraft at all. It did do a nosedive, and it did collect a little bit of dirt in tip of the nose area, but that was just about it. And everything else is still intact. All-in-one VTX is still mounted to the top. So there you go, guys, the durability test of the XK A800, and it definitely passed. What I think happened was I have an old 2-cell battery I just took out of the toolbox, and I was flying with that. I think the battery was weak, so I was losing power, and it just came straight down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap on the battery excuse me, I'm going to slap on the battery that the aircraft came with and continue our FPV flight. All right, so let's get started once again. All right, here we go with our second FPV flight with the XK A800. Now this is a different day at a different location, and the reason why is because I wasn't able to continue my flight with this aircraft, and the reason why is because after that nosedive crash, what happened was the shaft of the motor got pushed towards the back, and the rear end cap of the motor was dislodged. So I took it home and found that out and pushed it back in, and it seems to be working just fine now. And also I changed out the battery that was supplying the power to the all-in-one VTX. Initially had a 450 milliamp one cell battery. Now I changed it to a smaller, half the size, 220 milliamp size battery, so lighten up the load here. And what it does is it supplies power to this all-in-one VTX for at least 8 minutes that I tested it at home. So we're gonna go for another FPV flight with the XK A800, but this time around I'm also using my Jumper T8SG remote control. I got the WL Toys protocol and it binds to it. I just had to do some reversing of the channels, the aileron and the rudder, and it is good to go. So we're going to go for a little FPV flight with the Jumper remote, this time with the XK A800. All right, here we go. All right, getting the hang of it with the Jumper remote. And looks like we have no problem with the motor. And it is providing me enough lift to cruise around. Now I'm just going to fly it around with the angle mode here, because I think with the battery on top of its back, it is difficult to do acro maneuvers, and this thing is meant to be very light. And it is a little gloomy day here as well, but check it out. You are able to do some FPV flying with the XK A800, and with the Jumper remote, it should give us plenty of distance here. I got my settings set to 150 milliwatts, and I'm flying with the original battery that this aircraft came with, so we should get a pretty good, decent amount of flight time as well. And it is a new battery instead of an old battery that I just took out from my toolbox. So there you go, guys, the FPV flight with the XK A800. And let me go ahead and kill the throttle, and let's see if I can just glide for a little bit. There you go. Nice. Oh yeah, you can glide for days. Give it a little throttle and get more lift, go out a little higher. Very nice. I can hear it passing by. Oh man, you can just FPV like this for days. It is awesome. Kill the throttle once again. Yeah, just cruise. All right, I'm just gonna fly around and waste out the battery. Oh, I'm pretty far away from myself. So that is it for now for the FPV flight with the XK A800 with the all-in-one VTX, and it is just a fantastic of a glider. Just so smooth in the angle mode, and you are able to do some acro flying as well, but I don't quite recommend acro flying with an all-in-one VTX because it does throw off the weight distribution a little bit. So when you do flips and rolls, it does affect the performance of the aircraft. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time. Woohoo! Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got some distance now.